Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So today we're going to look into the first chapter of IMD 214 Electronic Publishing. And to begin with, we will look into what is electronic publishing is all about. It's actually a process of creating and disseminating information via electronic means, including email and via the web. It's considered as electronic publishing. So as simply said, it is about to disseminate information by creating the content using electronic means, whether email or nowadays we are using internet to disseminate all the information. But in our case, in this subject, we are creating the delivery of information using particular format. For example, like ebooks, e-magazine, or even an e-journal. And previously, people are publishing the electronic documents through CD-ROM, which can be read only by computers. So as you can see in the visual, the version of classic desktop printing, where previously all the publication is going through the printed machine, the physical printed machine, using the mechanical printing machine. And nowadays we already have the modern printing tools whereby we can use the electronic printing device like our printer, whereby we have DeskJet and we also have LaserJet. So in the history of printing, it's actually a process of reproducing text and images. And the first printing was actually in China and was called as Yi, which meaning to authenticate by the impression of a seal on a clay. As you can see in the figure 1 is the picture of desktop printing press at that moment. This reproduction machine is actually to provide consistent and high volume of printing. Especially this procedure is to reduce the cost of printing, which is very expensive at that moment. And since traditional printing require many skills such as the typesetting, the photography, engraving, mechanical paste up and stripping, so it is very time consuming. Another basic challenge of printing is these two challenges: the new language skill and also the new technical challenges. Language skills, of course, in terms of the electronic publishing languages, the terms like Ruby Leaf and the PMT has changed to megabytes, PostScript, and file formats. This is not the language that we spoke, the language that we speak every day. No, this is the language of the computer, the language of the electronic publishing. Another one is the technical challenges, whereby a challenge of the new technology. At every moment the new technology emerged, so it created a challenge for us to learn about the new technology in order to do electronic publishing. Another challenge other than those two language and technical challenge is the image reproduction challenge. And commonly the challenge is to provide a very high quality image. When you reproduce the image, commonly we will reduce the quality. But this is the challenge that we need to take care of, whereby we need to provide a very good quality of images. For example, we need to contain and remain the text, line art, tonal, and also the color images. Once you scan the image, commonly the light of the scanner will reduce the brightness of the color. Sometimes it increase the brightness of the color of the image being scanned. Okay, and about the tonal image, the tonal image constructed from shades of grey and constantly varying shades of grey, which are much more difficult to reproduce than the solid black and white. And sometimes the scanner, especially the scanner, they cannot recognize the color. They just scan whatever being put on top of them, and commonly the grey color will have the more challenges rather than the black and white. And the next one is the challenge of color. As the color requires use of dozens and hundreds of even thousands of individual colors, to reproduce all the variation of color. So the CMY and B in various combination to attempt to reproduce the range of colors contained in natural scenes is the most challenging part. The CMY is the cyan, magenta, and yellow color, and also the black color. In the screen, the RGB, the red, green, blue color usually is used, but in publishing, physical publishing, like books, we are using the color of CMY and K. See, B is for K, for black color. So the CMYK color is usually the most challenging part, whereby we cannot have similar color like what RGB can display on our screen. And another one is the changing printing technologies. Sometimes the previous or the conventional or the older version of the printing technologies having an offset printing press, the screening technologies and processing of the colors is different than the new technology. Then that's why the changing of printing technologies usually create a great challenge to the publishers to publish their document. As you can see here, to reduce and simplify the RIP, the raster image processor. This is to process the text, line art, and also contour of images to be processed by the computer. But this is no longer a challenge to any designer, especially because when you are using the Adobe Photoshop, the rasterizing image processing has been made very sophisticated and simplified the process of uh, the rastering the image. Another issues in electronic publishing other than the challenge that created by technology is about the readability, whether people can see or read of whatever graphic images or text that you have produced in your publication. And also the portability, whether your document can be transferred easily from one place to another places. But in current technology, the portability is no longer an issue, whereby you can share your document even through social media like WhatsApp, Telegram, TikTok, or even using email. So portability is no longer a big issue in e-publishing now. But the another thing that considered as an issue is the printability. Can we print document that we can view greatly on our computer? Sometimes the view on computer is very attractive, but once we print the document, the images, the graphics that we created on the publication is damaged. So we need to ensure that our document is printable. As in our screen in our computer, usually we use the RGB color, but when we go for printing, we should set our graphic to CMYK color. So this is part of the issues in electronic publishing. So in e-publishing, we are actually creating document, and as in e-publishing, we are using computers. So most of the colors, the resolution, the display size are depending on the computer that view our document. So commonly it's about the monitor view that we need to consider about. So you can see here the example of contour photography and line art. You can see the pixel in the first picture in A picture is quite massively broken, and you can see the line art in B picture. And this is the differences between contour versus half tone. You can see the pixels breaking up. And another part of e-publishing is the multi-purpose document. And in our case, we are using the PDF version. So our document can be created with multiple elements inside the document. You can put photos, you can put the text, and even you can put a link into a video or audio to be played. So now it's easier for us to publish those documents, especially through the web page or over the internet. And e-publishing also promote the lifelong education, whereby it is part of the best preparation for a professional life to learn the fundamental principle of digital imaging, which never changed from previous decades up until now. Because of the digital imaging is still considered as the never changing technology where you can create the digital image from previous technology up until to the recent technology. So when you understand the fundamentals of digital imaging, it's very easy for you to continue the lifelong education, especially in the aspect of electronic publishing. Another one is about the terms of endearment. Also, something that can have several meanings. It depends on the certain context that we see upon this acronym. For example, like the ATM can mean Adobe Type Manager or asynchronous transfer mode or even automatic teller machine. So this terminology should be broken into consideration so that you can make the publisher to understand any terminology that we wanted to use when we are publishing our document. So we do not mix up the terms with other acronyms like the previous example that I have shown to you. So you need to know that ATM refers to the Adobe Type Manager in its context, as asynchronous transfer mode is not about electronic publishing, it's not about physical publication, it's about the networking context. And in this part, we can see that the bit depth, the pixel depth, color depth is the term that you need to know. Dia macam jargon lah, perkataan-perkataan yang biasa orang sebut. So the bit depth, the pixel, how many bits, you can see it 34 bits, 30 bits, 36 bits. But in our software like Adobe Photoshop, commonly it is already already being set up with this kind of bits, and we don't have to worry so much about this. And about the vector, line art, and also object oriented, you have to make sure you can differentiate these three. Vector, what is line art, what is object oriented. So we know that vector is something, it's a graphic that you can draw using lines, and you can resize the image, that the graphic that you created using vector at any size that you wanted without breaking the pixel image. While line art is like the drawing that we have shown to you just now, and object oriented is like images that you pasted on the Adobe Photoshop, the object oriented, like logos. And Acrobat, okay, in our case we commonly use the Acrobat reader, and actually it is used to read the electronic document, to process electronic document. And we also have the ASCII, a standard code for all alphanumeric character plus. You need to know all of this, and it might appear in the test later on. And also the ATM again, a utility that provides background operating system level viewing and printing support for PostScript on Mac and Windows computer. The clipboard, everything that we copy in our computer will be copied into a clipboard, which is a short-term pastable storage. At any computer, they will have their own clipboard. The CMYK mode, as I mentioned just now, it's color mode. The cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. And then the color, we have 8-bit color, we have 30-bit color, we have 24-bit color. This is actually a numbers of the color, how many colors that we have. And then the dialog box, a pop-up window which provide response choices. At any time we use the software, and we click on the link, sometimes they have a pop-up window. So it is called as the dialog box. Then the electronic publishing terms, the use of electronic equipment to create and reproduce text and graphic images. The kerning, this is the space between two text characters. For example, the word A and D, N, the A and D. So space between A and the N. So how large is the kerning between the first text characters and the second one? And then the leading. Leading means if in Microsoft Word it's called as spacing between lines in paragraph. Stroke is the thickness of a line. of any images or any graphic that we draw in our software. Then the tint, a screen of a spot color, and also vectography, as I mentioned just now, reconstructed from lines, also known as outline graphic. So in the culture of electronic publishing, it's actually started long time ago, the digital revolution, whereby the computer at that time is very big. And then from the analog document, from the analog information, it evolves into the digital document, digital content. And then it changed how we create, capture, manipulate, store, transfer, and transform the information. And previously, it is in the form of analog, something that is written down, something that is drawn by hand, and now it's all being made up by the computers. As you can see here, the analog tools like pencil, pen, brush, crayon, while the digital tools, we are using the computer equipment and software application to create the publication. As the consequences, customers have more control and involvement in the publishing process because they know that we can edit almost everything in computer. So that's why the customer will always have a demand on the design. Okay, and they also have more input and control on the files. So for any electronic publication activities, we usually need to do something before we publish our document. It's called as file preparation. The file preparation requires the technical requirement and the strict nature of printed media. What does it mean by file preparation? It means that your graphic file, your document, for example, in Photoshop we have the PSD file. In Illustrator we have the .ai, the file. So that file need to be prepared well enough so that it can be read by any computers faster and easier to be opened. And other than the file itself, sometimes we have to create partner. We have client and service company that need to work as partner. For example, especially for the printing part, printing is quite costly, whereby you need to purchase the printer, and it was thousands of dollars, thousands of ringgit. So you have to partner with the printing company in any publication project. Next one is the convergent technology. Sometimes a computer are using the similar software, but there are also cases that we are using different software, but the computer that we wanted to use to publish the documents doesn't have the technology that we have. So sometimes we need to convert the technology, the document into the technology that can be read by the computer that we wanted to use for printing. So most of the time, in recent technology, usually we will put all documents for graphic publication in PDF format so that it can be readable by any computers. So that's all for the chapter 1, and we'll meet again in the chapter 2.